Sometimes you just got to laugh. And this may be one of those times. I mean, Trump and Bondi and Marco Rubio had a funny look on his face, but Trump and Pam Bondi looked like they were totally guilty when they were in this interview. They looked even more guilty as babies. Check this out.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa,
Marco Rubio,
said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the minute step?
Yeah, sure. If I
Could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Now, I just want to interrupt. This is so funny, but I just want to interrupt with a new thing that Alex Jones is positing, is that Donald Trump is hiding the files because he claims, according to Truth Social, that the Democrats have corrupted and added things to the file that aren't true. So he can't put it out because it would be a misrepresentation of reality. And I think Tim Dillon is saying, well, the reason Trump can't put it out and he got with Bondi and they're just kind of covering this thing up is because Trump likes to live. He doesn't want to die, and the powers that shouldn't be will see to it that they end his life, except for he's the president of the United States. He's the ruler, the leader of the free world, the commander in chief of the United States military-industrial complex. Who rivals the president's power unless there's somebody in control that's above the president that has more power than the president? I mean, which one is it? Is it this or it's that? It can't be both, right, Tim? And let's say it was a Democrat doing what Trump is right now trying to do, and that is cover up one of the biggest pedophile scandals in the history of America, probably the entire world. What if it was a Democrat, Tim? What if it was a Democrat, Alex? You'd be pinning them to the wall every day of the week. You know you would. But because you're in the left versus right paradigm lie, you got to toe the party line. You got to toe the Republican Party line. And there's a lot of people, believe it or not, that are actually backing off and still continuing to support Trump. And you know that it was just a matter of time before they did that. They started questioning. This whole thing caught them flat-footed. And they're just kind of in a daze for a second going, no way, we need the Epstein files. And then you got people like Scott Adams now saying, hey, I don't question these four leaders. I don't question Pam Bondi or Dan Bongino or Kash Patel or President Trump. I believe them. I believe wholeheartedly that what they're saying is the truth. So I'm not even going to investigate anymore. There's a lot of people saying that, and you're going to see a whole lot more too. They're going to back off this Jeffrey Epstein. Hey, just let bygones be bygones, and let's just add fuel to the fire for this roaring economy Donald Trump's got waiting in the wings with all these stupid tariffs that he's got. This is what Team MAGA is going to say. This is what Team MAGA is saying right now. They're waking up from their Jeffrey Epstein stupor, and they're like, well, we just trust President Donald Trump. He can't be in the files. He's not implicating himself by any stretch of the imagination by covering up one of the biggest elitist pedophile rings in the history of the world. So, we're just going to go ahead and trust him.
With what happened in Texas, it just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also,
She's such a liar. She's not even a good liar.
Tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the...
I'm the Attorney General for the United States. Think about that statement. I'm the Attorney General for the United States. I have all this power at my disposal, all of this information, all this ability to data mine, but I have no idea if Jeffrey Epstein has these kind of ties. What?
The video showing definitively, the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing.
Baby Donald Trump is like, you are believing my Attorney General Pam Bondi, aren't you?
He committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Now, I want to let me show you something here. I wasn't going to do this on this channel, but I think it's appropriate because, you know, there are people really struggling economically. They can't put a roof over their heads. They can't put food on their tables. And these are people that make a really good amount of money. I mean, what I would consider a good amount of, if you're making $65,000, $70,000 a year, I would say that you're doing pretty good, and you can support yourself, and you can have a place to live, and you can buy, you know, food for yourself, and you can pay the utility bills. But this right here is a cop. The name is Nick Marino. He's going to tell you that he is a law enforcement officer and he gets paid pretty well, but he's got to live with his parents because he can't pay for rent.
What kind of life is that? Like, I'm going to rant about something for 2 minutes. If you want to listen, cool. If not, that's fine. But I think a lot of you could relate to this. So I'm a cop. I make decent money. I'll just tell you, I make like 70 grand a year in the new contract, pre-tax, right? So my pre-tax income is $70,000 a year. If I work no extra details or overtime, whatever, my take-home pay every month post-tax is like $4,000, right? Just about. And where I live, a one-bedroom apartment ranges anywhere from $2,000 to like $2,400 a month, maybe.
Now, the average rent price for a single bedroom apartment is $1,636, and economists claim, or people who are financial planners or tax people say, that your living expense, what you pay for your apartment or your house, should not exceed 30% of your gross monthly income. So if he's making $70 or $70,000 a year, he's making about $36 per hour, and he's saying he's bringing home $4,000 a month. And if rent prices in his area are $2,000 to $2,400, that exceeds 50% of his gross monthly income, and that is pathetic. And another aspect of this being pathetic is that he, being a law enforcement officer, works basically as a revenue generator for the state. Most of them do. So when you're economically terrorizing a fellow American, your job is taking money out of people's pockets who really didn't do anything wrong. They didn't harm anybody. They didn't threaten to harm anybody. They didn't commit a crime. They just violated some corporate traffic code. And you complaining about the fact that you can't afford a single bedroom apartment, but you live your life taking money out of people's pockets who also can't afford a single bedroom apartment. Shame on you, bud.
More, depending on where you're at. And a mortgage is going to be well over $2,500 for any house in this state, okay? Unless I moved out into the middle of fucking nowhere and had an hour and a half drive to work. And I'm discouraged. I'm discouraged. I have a decent job. My job is inherently kind of dangerous. I feel like I should be getting paid a little bit more personally, but it's whatever.
Pizza driver, UPS driver, FedEx driver, mail carriers, their job is more dangerous by far than a law enforcement officer. So if it's about danger, if you're talking about on the scale of danger and how dangerous your job actually is, a pizza delivery driver should be paid more than you. If danger is that big of a factor.
And before you're like, well, you can work overtime in details. Yeah, dude, I don't want to work my life away. I have a lot of things I like to do outside of my job. I want to spend time with my family, and hopefully I have my own family someday, and I want to actually see my kids. And I'm 27, by the way. And like, I just feel like I'm fucked. Like, I'm fucked. I'm single. I don't have a girlfriend, and I don't want a girlfriend just for like financial reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I want to actually find somebody that I want to be with. And like, I had to move back home because I just like can't afford to do that. Right?
Think about this. A man making $70,000 a year is living at home with his parents. Nope. No man does that. You know, I mean, if you're doing that, then I hope you're paying rent to your mom and dad. I hope you're not eating food out of their refrigerator that they paid for. I hope you're paying for things. But man, to think about having another man pay for my stuff, I'd rather live out on the street or in some $500 a month rundown Motel 6, you know, whatever. But ain't nobody going to be providing for it. If you're a man, you don't want another man providing for you. But on the other side of it, it's a sad state of affairs where rent prices, by the way, in the year 2000, rent prices were $540 a month for a single bedroom apartment. Now it's $1,636. That's over 3 times what it was. And the annual income really hasn't even kept up with that. Hasn't gone up that much. So we're in pretty hard times. And the reason I wanted to show you this on this video right here is because I want to hear from you guys. How many of you out there are struggling economically and you're having to make choices where, man, I can't buy that anymore. And we're talking about necessities. I can't buy these necessities anymore. I got to really cut costs so that I can keep the lights on, so I can stay in my apartment or house, so that I can buy clothes for my kids for school. I genuinely want to know what percentage of us Americans are struggling to make ends meet, because I feel like things are going to get worse and worse with the advent of AI. Jobs are going to be replaced. And if you think people are hurting now, wait till they become jobless. And I also know that there are a lot of people out there working 2, sometimes 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And they're not living high on the hog either. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. This is one of the main reasons that I'm against the left versus right paradigm lie, because the politicians have literally ruined everything. Government claims they're there to help, and all they're there for is to help themselves to your stuff. They get richer, their elitist puppet masters get richer, and we get poorer. We have to work harder because the value of our dollar has become diminished. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, whatever you want to do. If you want to support this channel, I really, really appreciate it. I will try to put out a video every single day of the week because this stuff is important. We've got to change our minds so that we can change our world. I'll see you in the next one.